Well, hi there, guys, and welcome to the Joe Mars podcast. And for the very first time, yes, you can catch us, and you are catching us live right here on the YouTube. It's kind of nice, right? So, if you want to catch more and more of these interviews that I'll be having and more of these live shows that I'll be having, please subscribe and make sure you follow the Joe Mars YouTube page. Okay, we are all at home, we are all under a lockdown, so there's nothing wrong with having conversations that you and I can engage in, getting to know more and more of the Zimbabwean society, people from Zimbabwe, artists, you name it, everything. We will feature it right here. So I do hope you take the chance to subscribe and follow this page and make sure you're always with us all the times. So yeah, Vuyo Brown is back on a show with me again. I say on a show again because the last time it was on a different format and in a different year. This is a different year altogether. It is 2021 and it is a brilliantly new show, the Joe Mars podcast. So you got to make sure you follow and subscribe. The last time I spoke with her, it was at my old job, which I lost a day before Christmas. Hmm. That's another story for another day. But here we are. We are all alive. We are well under a lockdown, sadly, and we'll, be giving um, no 2 second thoughts about that. You just make sure you have to wear your mask. You have to do all things that everybody and the authorities are talking about. Okay, I think it is a year, if you ask me, where you don't have to give any 2 cents or any thoughts about what other people say about you. I think it's a year that we all just need to stay true to what we believe in and what we love. I feel like the whole world could be a better place if we all could just not care about what people say about us. Then we would probably have more happy people. We would be having more caring governments or more love and people falling in love with people that they actually love. People enjoying life the way that they really love and not, because someone believes they should be enjoying it in some way or the other. But of course, you might argue that, it would mean more divorces and so many fights, and people would just go right ahead and say what they want. I would argue back and say, if the world had just started like that, there wouldn't be any need to experience all of this. Truly, I truly believe the world could be a better place if we all just do not care what people say about this. But listen, I'm not gonna go on and talk on my own because I've got Vuyo Brown who's joining me all the way from Bulawayo. Vuyo, how are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm good.
Hi,
How are you?
great man. What do you think about this notion of not just caring about what other people say or think
I
about
was,
you?
I was smiling as you were saying that if we really would save so much time, so much hurt, so much money if we didn't care what people thought. If we just did
Exactly.
us, yeah,
Mhm.
man. People's thoughts drive us too much.
Exactly, and think about the majority of decisions you've made in your life. Most of them, I'll speak on my own terms, have been because someone has influenced me or someone thinks it's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah, that is so
Mm,
true. I
mm.
probably would have. Ah, you know what? That's a very good introspection thing because then I just get into there's so many things I could go back to. Ah, why do you have to do
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's interesting actually.
The last time we spoke, you and I, you had very interesting thoughts on religion and how
Mhm.
it assumes there is a certain kind of genre or a certain kind of sound or a music that sounds like religion. You still feel the same way?
I definitely do. I think I feel that mostly because I experience it all the time. You know, and it's negative most of the time because the moment people for example gospel music, the moment people just hear gospel, there's a sound they already hear, so it already determines what they're going to think about my music or music that's like mine. So they're
Mhm.
either going to well, most of the times they don't then accept it, is it? So most of the times it's not a good reaction because it can be good
Mm,
too. They can be like, oh, gospel. Then they hear, I'm like, oh, okay. But most of the time it's gospel, and then that's not gospel.
mm,
So
mm,
already I've lost somebody. And then at the same time, though, on a lighter note, sometimes they'll be like gospel music, like, oh, you do gospel, and then they hear the song, then that's not what they expected. Already, just those two notions just take it back to there's something they expected just because of the words. Just gospel music, they expect something. Gospel music, they expect you're going to be going, oh, Jesus, Jesus, oh, God, God, every single thing. You're gospel artist, so you're always talking about Jesus. I remember the other day, someone was actually shocked. I can't remember, I replied something and I said nigger something. And they were like, am I allowed to say that? I think I hope so. And I said that and they were like, oh, okay, where's that coming from? I was like, what do you mean? And so what the gospel part determines my character as well, which I found very interesting. But yeah. Oh, network.
yeah. No, not network. It's me. I punched a button. I don't know. I'm too old for this. I punched a button. I went out of my own broadcast. Can you believe that?
Oh
Okay. So I was, I could hear you. I was listening to you, but I'm outside. I'm outside the broadcast. I need to put myself in. I need to. And I can't. Okay, so you
my
forgive me.
God, man.
By the way, I turned 39 in 5 days, so I can be forgiven if one or two things like this I don't know or I forget that I have to do something.
We
Number two.
forgive you. Okay. We forgive you, Kulu. Okay.
You know, it's interesting when you were talking about when you said a certain word, when you say the word nigger, and I was having this conversation with uh, with uh, with my wife, and I said to her, you know what, my next kind of broadcasts have to be all out. I mustn't be able to think about using the word shit or the word fornication unless by consent of the king. You know the word. uh and then she was like, no, why would you want to do that? And I'm like, we say it all the times. We say it in the whole Zimbabwean society says that word all the times. Why
Yeah.
will it be bad for me to say it? Because I'm still speaking to the very same society. So I don't have to be judged that I have done it in such a manner that I think is wrong. When we, in our private spaces, we are doing that. And of course, as well, the same thing with radio or any broadcast, we listen to it in our own private spaces. We might have our kids and stuff like that. The good thing would be, okay, we're having the conversation. I'm going to be using a couple of swear words. If you've got kids around, move them. If you
Yeah.
feel your kids are okay listening to this, then let them be, because we gotta be
Yeah.
using swear words. That I think is normal. That is only but professional. But to say you can't say that because you're a broadcaster is like, what is I thought to myself, what really is broadcasting? Because if I cannot be broadcasting or talking to people about things that they see and hear each and every day, then I'm
Yeah.
basically not doing my job.
Yeah.
So maybe not in this conversation, because I don't want to put you in that space. But in previous, not in previous, but in the futures interviews, all
Yeah.
those words will be allowed, because hey, we do we do say that every now and then. But back to you. Back to you.
Yeah.
I was reading something really interesting about you. You said
Okay.
you had a story written about you from the what was this papalage dot online, and it
Oh,
says here five things people do not know about Vuyo Brown, and this was
um,
in May 5, 2020. Do you remember that
right.
story? Do you remember
I
giving them five things?
I don't remember the five things, but I do remember giving them something.
Okay, so you're gonna give us five things as well, but I want to just go through and talk about the five things that I found here. You said you sang alto and played African drums in the vernacular choir back in high school. Is that
Oh
correct?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So
And now
Vuyo.
she remembers. Now she remembers. If it was anything bad, you'd be like, nah, I didn't give them. I didn't give them anything like that.
I wasn't. I wouldn't give them anything, but I hope I didn't. But yeah, I remember that
Okay.
Sister Rudolph.
Okay. And you also love pastry.
I do. I love food. I love pastry. I do.
I love pastry too. I love food anyway. So, but I don't love baking. I could cook. I can cook. I think cooking is okay, but pastry, and I think it's a lot of work. But I wanted to
Yeah.
find out if any of these things that you do back, like that you used to do back in the day, like playing African drums in the vernacular choir,
Yeah.
pastry, does it have any effect on the music that you bring out today?
Mm, definitely. I My first single was Ndi Jesu, right? It was
Mhm,
Ambira, you know, and in my head, I deliberately went for all of them to Kudzi, Chiwoniso kind of sound.
mhm,
And that was the opposite of what people expected from me. And because people didn't know, didn't know me, they expected R&B, they expected, pop, but
mhm,
that's the sound that I love. That's the sound I fell in love with. I think mainly because of Sister Rudo. She had this authenticity about her, like this. She loved African music, and so the more I sang in the vernacular choir, because we had the choral choir, which was the holla ho, and we had the vernacular choir. So I joined the vernacular choir for this, So yeah, it definitely has a lot to do with the music I make. And then the pastry, I love baking. I experiment a lot. So I definitely, it's all, yeah, yeah. My music
mm.
is the same.
So I know pastry would not have an effect or would not have an effect on your music because it's food and it's so different from what you do, like as in professionally. But there
Yeah.
are other things that you also wrote on this or that you gave them when they wrote about you. It was the first song you ever wrote was titled Hear Me. It was about a girl asking God to hear her and her dark thoughts. It was really
Yeah.
dark. I thought this was really interesting because I think we all have dark thoughts. We have dark dreams. We
Right.
sometimes have these dark notions. First and foremost, will you be kind enough just to sing a part which you think is really, really dark about that song?
I actually don't remember the melody of the song. I don't remember a word I wrote in the song. I just
Mm,
remember I was really depressed. It was about, I was angry, I was depressed because, the environment I grew up in, like at home. And so it was, I remember it was just me. I didn't want to shout at God because I respected God so much. So it was me more of relaying what I'm going through and what I see and asking him how, why. So
mhm,
I just remember that. I don't remember the melody. I wish I could, but yeah.
mm.
It's probably some pop thing.
Some pop thing. You call it pop
Yeah.
now, the pop thing. But did it in any way convince you that maybe I know you maybe you don't remember the lyrics to the song or whatever. Did it in any way convince you to the choice of music that you then picked up later in your life?
Mm, I maybe I was a weird kid, so the kind of music I liked was um I think so, yeah, because it
Mhm,
was coming from the music I was listening to at the time, and it
mhm,
wasn't. I liked hearing pop, but I wasn't really interested in doing it. I liked like at the time I remember Lower Six.
mhm.
I fell in love with Amy Winehouse, and she wasn't really happy, So
Yeah.
I decided that's the music I'm doing. I remember telling a friend of mine, and she wasn't happy. She didn't like the music. She wanted me to do gospel. I didn't want to do gospel, so I was like, I want to do Amy Winehouse kind of music. She's drunk all the time, she's high all the time, and I was a teenager, and I I loved the way she could express herself, and that's what I wanted to do. So yeah, the music
Mm,
I was listening to at the time definitely was influencing me. Yeah, I love the freedom that she had. I love freedom. I love
mm,
the idea.
mm. Well, freedom is something that we can forever debate about because how free is somebody? What is really freedom? I mean, I remember listening to this radio show and they explored the issue of freedom to its depths. I don't know. They even left that radio show without even concluding what really is freedom. So, if it means doing whatever you want, if that's the meaning that you want to go with, I think we agree. But you studied
Okay.
journalism and media studies at NAST, am I correct?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Are you still practicing? What's happening?
No, in Zim, I mean, I respect you, because like you were and are in radio and the creative side of the
Hmm.
industry, which
Hmm.
is what I went into it for film and broadcasting. I really did not like the let me say the journalism part. The story
Hmm.
writing and the news writing and yeah, no, I'm not doing that in Zim. Nope, I'm good.
I would like to know from, I mean, in your own words, your view or your what you think about the current journalist or the current crop of media personnel, or even the platforms that we have in the world today. I mean, as a person who studied it, what would be your go-to choice if you were to go back in it?
You see the smile on my face? Yeah, you want
Come
to
on,
know?
I
I think,
really want
I'm terrible to write for. Let me tell you that.
to
I love radio, so at some point I definitely have to go into it. But I'm terrible to write for
know.
because a lot of journalists will approach me and say, "Hey, this is happening. Da, 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 da. Can I write a story?" And then they don't send it through for proofreading, which I really genuinely actually expect. Because when I now read it, I'm like, "Why? That's terrible. Why would you write? That's not writing. That is not."
Mhm.
You understand? I'm terrible to write for. So there's some journalists that actually don't come to me anymore.
Is it?
And some people with online things that don't come to me anymore. Some of them come to me just with random stories. I'm like, what do you think about this? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you because it's not it's a job that shouldn't be for everybody. Not everybody can write.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
everybody can write. But everybody
Mm.
wants to write. And I don't yeah, no, let's not. Just
You
because you have
would
a good show, you don't get on radio, okay? Just because you have a good doesn't work like that. Should
I
not work
you,
like
you you know what I think? I actually think I have a terrible voice. I actually think I have a
that.
terrible voice. I don't know why and how I just got to work on these radio stations, but I actually think I have a terrible voice. I
Oh.
listen to my voice at times and I'm like, that's me.
Very
That's me listening back to myself. Because there's this thing when you're on radio, it's like always pick, go through your radio shows and listen to yourself, listen to the ums, to the ums, and to the okay, okay, which is unprofessional. And then when I'm
okay.
listening to it, I'm like, oh Joe, why? But I find myself just working and working and working in the radio station.
But your voice though, really amazing. Really is.
How so? Okay, I guess maybe in 2021 I should stop it because for the longest I've been saying that myself. I think I have a terrible voice. I think in 2021 I should be saying to myself, I have a good voice, and I should use it more in radio. Thank you
Amen.
for you. So what's up? What's been happening in the last part of 2020? We all know it was just give us a recap of your 2020. I mean, this is 2021. We're in January, 5 days into it. We don't know what's going to happen. This new strain of COVID-19. We might as well talk about what happened in 2020. I mean, we know there was this whole COVID thing, but I'm sure there are positives that came out of 2020.
I have more positives than negatives to be honest, because I remember when the lockdown was announced, I'd already started isolating myself like the two weeks prior. And
Are you one of
when
those
the
people?
yeah, I am. I because my job is people. So,
Okay.
and I love people, and I can't not touch people. I can't. I show love by being close to people. So I know myself. So I stayed away. And when they announced the lockdown, I had been desperate to rest. I was so
Mhm.
tired. I have so many things I do generally, but mainly because, like I said, I work with people every single day. I needed
Mhm.
rest. And I knew
Mhm.
that there's no way I could go to my bosses and different things that I do and be like,
Mhm.
hi, I need 6 months, 2 months, 3 months to just go away. It wasn't, I'm leaving people hanging, people need me and all of that. So I was so happy. I was happy. I needed rest for
Mm.
the past 6 years and I got it. And, music wise, I think it was my year. Everything was
Mhm.
just flowing so well. Um, I don't even know where to begin with it. I finally
Mhm.
recorded my video. I've been struggling to record in 2019, funny enough. Finally
Mhm.
got to do it in April. The moment I released it, it just took off. The song itself was just taking off. I literally spent the whole year with just one song. I didn't release anything because I wasn't in studio.
Okay.
Like I was releasing albums, everyone's, oh, you're
Mm.
doing well. Yeah, it's just one song. But, it was just going. And I got shows from that. I got all these people interested in me from that. All these, duets and stuff. Look at me, duets,
Mm.
collaborations, I
Yeah.
mean. Um, came from that. Awards came from that. My first nomination was 2020. My first award was
Mhm.
2020.
Mhm.
Other nominations came as well, all from one song. So
Mhm. Mhm.
I think God, and there's something God had told me end of 2019 anyway, but when it just started happening, I was like, yeah, you know what, you're a cool guy, thank you.
I hear you. I hear you. That's the positivity that I think at this stage we need to be talking about. I mean, COVID was there and it's still here. Understandably so. I mean, there are people dying and people falling sick, some recovering and some not. But we need to
Yeah,
just look at the positivity of it all. I mean, I guess when we started having diseases such as HIV and AIDS or TB or malaria or whatever it is, we spoke about them at length for some time, and then we started realizing that this is part and parcel of our lives. So we need to just understand and then certainly look towards other positive things out there. So I'm happy for you.
yeah.
I'm happy things turned out for yourself in 2020, and obviously 2021 looks brighter.
I
I
hope.
share the same. You hope. Okay.
Just hope,
Hope.
gotta hope.
Hope. You gotta hope. You gotta hope. I would totally not take away anything that happened in 2020 because there were lessons in it.
Yeah, yeah,
The only thing I would not want to remember about 2020 is, though I had this plan that I had, which involves some of this conversation that I'm having with you, I just
yeah,
didn't want to be told that, you know what, I think we will not be able to continue our contract with you on the
right,
eve of Christmas. That
right,
was really bad. Christmas is a time for love and all those things. So I just felt like it wasn't love. But anyway, that's me blabbering on.
right,
Vuyo, you've got a brand new video. It's on YouTube. We are going
right.
to be looking at it right now. I want to just, I'm sure you can see the video with me.
I can.
And you know your own video anyway, so it's not gonna be a train smash. This is your Tulawazi official video. I'm just gonna be running it a little bit, um, a little bit. I'm just gonna be tracking back and forth because there are a couple of things that I want to discuss with you. First and foremost, there. Can you see that?
Yeah,
Yeah, can you? I'm sure you can see that. Let's just go there. Bam.
I have the
There
same
you are.
hairstyle.
Huh?
It's the same hairstyle.
It's the
Ah,
same hairstyle. I said to
yeah.
myself the moment I saw you and we were about to do this interview, I was like, she's donning the same hairstyle. Do you love this hairstyle? I mean,
Ah,
what's
you're exposing me. I keep natural. I'm natural. So this is how I treat my hair. Right.
Mhm.
Spray it, oil it, and then twist it. It makes it grow. So yeah,
Okay.
that's
All right. That's cool.
that's
That's
all.
cool.
That's all.
All right. We're gonna track it a little bit forward as well and listen to and check out one or two things that I love about this video. Definitely, I love the song. I love it 2 bits, but how was producing this? Yeah, and then there was that look again. Oh no, where am I going? Oh gosh, I'm gonna embarrass myself now. Oh, I am not so good at this. Can you imagine
But
technology
now,
in the way? Okay,
but
yes. Yeah, I've gone back. I wanted to go to this look that you've got, the different one. Okay. There.
alright.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that in one way or the other telling people out there that a video shoot is never done in one day?
Oh, yes, so true. It's more of you can look different,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
Because
but why you making me reveal things? Yeah, that's all I can say.
look, it's your hair, it's your video shoot. I could have just had these thoughts on my own while I'm sitting in my own house and I'm thinking, oh, okay, did she have to go to the salon the next day and then have this
I
shoot
do it
again?
myself.
You
I
do it
do it myself.
yourself.
Yeah, most of the
How?
times I
How
do it
so?
myself. Because I
How
can.
so?
Because I can. Yeah.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you were back with the same vibe again throughout the whole song. I'm just gonna I'm simply just trying to just go through this whole video. And now I'm sure you cannot see it in detail, but let me just go there.
We're not
Uh,
budget. Just no. Ne? Just no. We
huh?
were on a budget. We were on a
Oh, yeah.
budget.
No, I totally love that. And it's like you read my mind. It's like you
Yeah.
read my mind. I just want us to talk about that for a moment.
Yeah.
This is, I think, a very quality video. There is nothing wrong with this. It's artistic, it's well thought of. It's not, let's go and climb on top of a mountain and have a shoot there, or Pamsorope Dombo and stuff like that, which is ridiculous from some artists. You were in a very beautiful place. I don't know, where was that? Is that Matopos? I'm sure you can see that one.
No,
Is that
let me
Matopos?
tell you. What can I tell you? Who join me? And
Tell
what can I
me,
tell
tell me.
you? So that's
Uh,
Hillside Dam, right?
uh-huh.
And that's like there's a part where it's like a between Hillside Dams and Waterfront. There's like a,
Mhm,
a little bridgey thingy, and so we went
mhm,
up there because the guys. Well, my friends were the ones directing and producing the video, so they had that idea. So it's the last thing we had to
mhm,
do. So we were in a hurry because we wanted to catch the sun and stuff. So it looks like that. So
mhm.
here's what happens: if you want to shoot something at Hillside Dams, at the time it was like $400, right? I
US
had fifty
dollars.
dollars in my pocket.
US dollars.
No, bond. Well,
Okay,
this is
I got
like
you, Chad.
beginning of last year, is it?
Okay.
And I had $50,
Mhm,
and so we got in. We wanted to shoot, but we didn't tell them because, well, we
mhm,
we didn't know at first. So when we found out, they were like, "What? It was $400." So the guard then says, "I'm about to close," because they were literally actually closing.
mhm,
So we're supposed to pay to get in, and then obviously pay to shoot, and then the whole procedure. But they were now closing. So we rush in, do our stuff. So we're like, no, we're just gonna be out just now. So we eco cash our monies because I was really broke. Like I had no money. I actually had
mhm,
no money. So we eco cash the money for everyone to get in. That's about $75 or something.
yeah.
And the money didn't go through later on at night, we realized. So we actually shot in there for free. And the money was paid to get in. And the 400 was supposed to pay to shoot. We didn't pay because there was nobody anymore. And what they do is when they close, they leave. So there's nobody to check whether you leave or not. So we just
Mhm.
left. 'Cause, well, you know. I hope they never see this though.
Guys, listen to me. If you're watching this, Vuyo has just admitted swindling the is that it's run by the council, right? It's run by the council.
He'll say I don't know, but I can promote I can promote right now they've got this really good food, so I can do that to pay back. Yeah. I'm sorry, he'll say
Well, you are a typical Zimbabwean, or should I say typical African? I mean, the majority of Africans, if something like that happens, I am no way turning back, going back to pay them after I've done whatever I want to do. I'd rather share this story with my friends and we laugh about it and probably get stick for being a cheat or something like that. But anyway, it
The
happens to everybody. It
testimony.
happens.
Ah,
Huh? It's a testimony
hey,
that I think your testimony should end with, you know what, Joe, but I went back and I gave it to them and now we're cool. You know, but
man, testimonies differ.
but listen, to be quite honest, I when I put up this video, it was because for us to see how just simple it can be, just to how simple it can be, just to have a beautiful video, to a lot of people that don't know what Tula Wazi is. I know Tula. I think we've had this conversation before. My Ndebele is not 100%. And I know Tula means Nyarara or hush now or quiet down, But what does Tula Wazi, like the literal translation of the song, what does that mean?
So for this part or for this song, the translation is for be still. So tula then means it translates to be still. It's more
Mhm,
the Zulu translated it to that. So be still and
mhm,
know. So tula wazi, be still and know. Because there was no be still. Because be still then becomes ima or
mm,
mana. So to
okay.
say mana wasi, just So the
Ah,
actual song is from a hymnal. That line
mhm,
is from a hymnal. So it became tulawazi. Tulawazi means
mm.
be still and know.
Be still and know. I love the
Yeah.
song. You did win an award with it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Female artist of the year.
Vuyo, are you there? Okay. Seems like we cannot or we are failing to connect with Fuyo Brown. We're just gonna be finding out exactly what's happening with that one, and then we'll come back to you. But I've been having this conversation with Vuyo Brown, and she is a young lady based in Kwabulawayo. She's doing beautifully, beautifully well. She's got an award for um, for that song Tulawazi, and that's what we wanted to talk about. But all things remaining constant, this uh, podcast, or should I say this show with Joe Mars, is going to be broadcasting on YouTube, on Facebook, or even on Apple Music as well. You can get us loud and clear because the aim of it all is to have brilliant conversations with people within our society, members of our society who are uplifting the good works of the arts, the good works of Zimbabwe, uplifting the name of Zimbabwe. And what better way to start these conversations with a young, vibrant, not aspiring, but breaking new bounds artist. Her name is Vuyo Brown, and that's who we have been talking to for the past 34 minutes. And yes, she's back again. Hey, you.
Sorry, I ran out.
Uh, what ran out data? Huh? Okay. Okay, so something is definitely wrong
Go
with.
ahead.
Can you hear me, Vuyo?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So you're a little bit jumpy there. Are
Oh,
you back now? Are you? Can you hear me clearly and with no breaks in between?
I can. I can. I
Okay.
think maybe
Okay.
it's still keeping up.
Okay, okay, brilliant. So, what's in plan for 2021? What I know it sounds crazy talking about 2021 in January. I mean, we all talk about 2021 or the new year in January, and we never fulfill anything that we speak about in January.
Right.
Yeah, so it's almost I hate that question or I hate that conversation because I know I've got body goals. I want to be like this. I want to do this and stuff like that, and then come March, you'll be like, yo, so where are those body goals now? And you hear people say, you know what, I took a break, but I'll be back. Let's hope it's not the same with you. Let's hope so.
You
What?
know what? The year starts in March, but I like
Mhm,
that you mentioned March because the year really starts in March. That's when you actually awake to it and you catch up to whatever year you're in, you know. So
mhm, mhm.
yeah. I need to fulfill everything I was meant to do in 2020 in 2021.
Mhm,
That's the hope that I catch up because it's really catching up. There's like
mhm,
so much I was already supposed to have done, you know, in the whole of 2020 that I now have to do in 2021,
mhm,
music wise that is.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah. You
I,
keep asking
I
about, yeah.
I know you want to play the five things that journalist was writing about. Part of it was playing the double bass.
Yes.
You should have seen the way your face lit up. The double bass.
My bass player actually
Hmm.
can play the double bass. So
Okay.
um one day it's just that if only it was, you know, available or accessible. It's
Hmm.
not, it's actually really hard instrument to find.
Yeah, it
It's very
is.
expensive to hire too.
Hmm.
If we could get it, I would right now, I would be inspiring you, inspiring
Mm.
and showing off basically. That's all I'm doing.
What can you play now? What can you play now?
I'm learning a few things right now. I'm learning keys
Okay.
and guitar. It's safe for me to say I'm learning because if I say I
Mm,
can play, then you will expect some. And so if I say I'm
mm.
learning and I mess up, then you know I'm learning. So yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a really good thing. Instruments, I always say you never go wrong if you know how to play an instrument. That's the way to go. And for any artist, I think, I've been consuming a lot of music, and the majority of the musicians that we call great musicians right now can play an instrument.
Yeah.
Can play an instrument. I don't know
Yeah.
about the Whitney Houston's, whatever they played. Maybe she would play the keys. I don't know. But if you think of Alicia Keys, Oliver Mtukudzi, James Brown, Louis Armstrong,
Yeah.
uh, the Bundy Boys, Leonard Jagata, and all of the big names that we talk about in Zimbabwe
Yeah.
can play an instrument. So I think if you do that, not that I'm judging you right now, I'm just saying it'll be
Oh no, I would
it,
you don't
it'll
even have to. My band has problems with me
mhm,
because the things I come up with, I get this line a lot from
mhm,
people and established musicians and stuff because they're always shocked that I can't play because the things I come up with and the things I make them play or the things I hear, because every single song I come up with already
mhm,
has every instrument in my head. I literally hear every instrument in my head. So I'll sing it out. That's why I scat so much because
mhm, mhm.
I'll just sing it out. So a lot of times me and the lead guitar are either fighting or like blending together because I'll be like, okay,
Mm,
I get to
mm,
a song and then I start scatting or I start singing and he'll be like, okay, so then I have to go, okay, so now you have to keep quiet because then what I'm singing is what you're playing. So we have to
mm,
now, or I do that with the bass, or I do that with the keys. So, um, yeah,
mm.
you know, can't offend me on that one. But yeah, I'm learning. I'm definitely learning. I was told a long time ago, and I've been delaying. So I'm
Okay.
definitely learning.
Or delayed is not denied. So you're getting there sooner or later with no doubt you're gonna be good at it. I would
Yeah,
ask you to in fact I would I don't know, maybe it's because I'm so hooked on acoustic guitar, and I think it's one of those brilliant underestimates because a lot of people just say keys, piano, 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 but acoustic
yeah,
guitar for me is the pinnacle of music playing. In fact, a guitar, yes, but acoustic would be the pinnacle because playing those strings and making sure the others are silent, that is a skill that nobody else and not a lot of people can do. You've got those six strings. If you want to play one and it has to be very vocal or it has to be outstanding, and the others are silent. I always found that very, very hard, and I think it's
definitely.
it's one
Yeah,
of those instruments that I would really love to to get to play in 2021. I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe I will.
absolutely.
Maybe I will.
Yeah.
Ultimately. So Vuyo,
Yeah.
We've been speaking a lot about the music. We've been speaking a lot about the influences that made you, or sort of that shaped you into who you are today.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
I I I, I want to ask you a question, and this also almost feels like it's a question that we always throw when we are asking artists about their music, especially female artists. And the question is, in your journey so far as a female musician in Zimbabwe, and tell the truth now, okay?
Mhm.
Tell the truth. How has
Mhm.
that been for you?
Mm. Two things.
Okay.
There's a side that I think sometimes I'll start with that one because I
Hmm.
know the second there's probably a lot of females who've experienced that. But there's a side that because a lot of times interviews, I've been asked what are the challenges, and sometimes they lead me into the challenges because they want me to
Hmm.
talk about how it's harder for female artists and things like that.
Hmm.
It's a man's world anyway, so that's an old tale, but which already happens. But the other side is that there's a part of it that's been easy because I'm female, if that makes sense, or made easier because I'm female. Because then a lot of men don't realize this or don't know, but they suffer from the damsel in distress syndrome. And so I'm always assumed to be, I don't know, I need help, let me help her, let me just take her here, let me, she needs me, so there's a part of that, to be honest, and I don't know if a lot of people talk about it, kind of has propelled me a bit because of that, and people just assume you don't know. And then the other side, and I'm not saying there's some females sometimes take advantage of that if they notice it, but the other side now is the one where I'm saying is where because of that, then every single DJ, every single, okay, not every single, but most, a lot of DJs, a lot of male artists, a lot of males that I come across, and because there's so many men in the industry, um, you have to count how many don't actually hit on you. You have to, you be like, "Oh, there's so and so." You can't count how many hit on you because there's too many. So you have to count how many
Hmm.
didn't hit on you. And so, and sometimes it depends on how you respond, because now I help younger female artists with that, because they're always coming at me. I mentor some, and that's one of the things I'll tell them is that you have to be smart about this, because if you go around sleeping with all of them, you're affecting your career, because they put you in a position where you feel you need
Hmm.
to get to the next level, and so if you're like me though, because I'm really strong-willed, and sometimes I'm not, and so if you're like me, it will cost you, because then if you say no, or if you don't give in, then it's against you, because so sometimes you need those two things. So the fact that it's very much important, but the other side is that
Hmm.
and secondly,
Vuyo,
one,
we are
yeah,
struggling,
you have,
struggling to get the line very, very clear there. We're struggling to hear you. Can you hear me?
oh, sorry, I
Can you
can,
hear
so
me?
sorry,
Okay, okay, okay.
I
So
can.
yeah, I heard the part where you were talking about, what it was kind of, it's a mixed bag where it could have, or it at one time it's good that you're a damsel in distress kind of artist, and it works out to your advantage, and people uh, listen to you, and people want to give you a chance, and then
Mm,
and then the other part where they sort of want to abuse you because you're a woman.
yeah,
Did I get that correctly?
yeah, basically,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Have you ever experienced a situation where you've had to Well, no, not that question. Let me let me ask it again.
Okay.
Have you ever had to walk away from something and say, "Hell no, I'm not doing that. I think my music must speak for itself, and I'm not gonna degrade myself for the simple fact that either I want radio airtime or I want to be the top artist on a gig that's coming out, etc., etc." Have you ever really faced something like that?
Put in that position. Everything I've experienced so far is just, advances
Hmm.
from different, people, sometimes subtle, sometimes out there. And
Hmm.
then sometimes you can tell the person's offended because they really expect because of their power where they are, and then you just gonna give in. But I haven't experienced something as deep as that. And I know some females who have, and I really, 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 really feel for them. But I haven't sung out with that. If I had, trust me, everybody would have known. I've done something about
Every
that guy, done something about everybody. Mm-mm,
Okay. All
you
right.
know,
Okay. Everybody would have known. That's a good thing. And I think as we get into 2021 and been speaking about this whole freedom and etc. You know, and I feel ladies must be in a position to talk about these things, not necessarily when they're on a platform like on a radio station, because most of the
yeah,
times those questions are asked when you're at a radio station or on a TV station, or in an article in a newspaper, and then you get the journalist asking you, how's been your journey? Did anybody um ask you out because they want to play you on radio, etc., etc.? You
yeah,
need to be speaking it out on your own, in your own terms, and have
yeah,
people thinking, oh, okay, she's saying something right there, not to be proactive in one way or the other.
yeah.
Mm.
Without the fear.
Without the fear.
Yeah, because sometimes you're scared of the names. So
Mm,
yeah.
mm.
Mhm.
All right. What do you think about what do you think about the fact that what you're teaching or you are mentoring young artists and female artists right now, and you have to tell them about this thing, and eventually they're just gonna meet with it. They're gonna meet with this big elephant in the room, or this monster called man. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just
Okay.
categorically state it right there that when I say man, I don't mean anybody. I mean everybody. I'm just saying the men that do want to take advantage. What do you think it does to their sort of um, self-esteem, or should I say their characters, or even their intent on being big? Because I know
Yeah.
with female artists, sometimes it's all about your sexiness or your sex appeal when you're on stage, right? You just don't also just want to dress like you are a gorilla. You want to dress like you know you want to dress like something really beautiful, right? And that
Exactly.
sex appeal can be misconstrued as, oh no, I think she wants it or she's looking for it, so let me ask for it. What do you think it does to the female artists that you have to mentor?
So the first thing that I deal with in mentorship is character, because the one thing that I meet a lot is desperation, and that's the most dangerous thing that they have, and that girls have. And so I try to instill that as much as I can, that you don't need that, because sometimes, even though you are confident in yourself, when you really, really want something, values deteriorate. You throw away something that you believe in just because you really want something. So that's the first thing that I try to thwart as much as I can. Don't be desperate. You don't need this. You actually don't need this. The fame will come because you'll be doing music. People will come because you'll be doing music. And most of the times, and I tell them the reality of it, they will like you today, they won't so much tomorrow. So if you'd rely on that and hang on that, you everything about you will be hanging on that. You will now do things just to get that attention. So that's the first thing I thought:
Mhm.
desperation and pride. I can't stand that. And sometimes I even turn some people away, I'm sorry to say.
Mhm.
Because when they approach me and say, those who approach me and say, would you please mentor me? I tell them, I don't take pride. I don't take in pride. If you're proud and I sense it because I sense characters, I will not take you. And so,
Mm,
because that's the biggest problem you can ever have in this industry. There's some babies, that um at a certain age you think you know everything, and then we, as young as we still are, because we're still young, we're just trying to help you avoid a few things that you don't have to experience, because after you
mm,
experience them, you know what you feel about yourself, how you feel about yourself, that's the biggest thing for a girl, how they now feel about themselves. And then one guy can change that, just one guy,
mm,
just one.
mm.
So, that's the main thing. And so for my babies, I try to teach them that, and I think, because I don't want to say I'm winning at that, but I hope I am, because I'm very strict. So I
Mm.
really hope I am. Yeah.
Okay. That's brilliant for you. And I think you're doing, I love the whole mentoring process and the whole, uh, I never had a mentor. Eh? I never really had. I never had one. I think the only mentors that I had in my life could be my siblings or my parents. And for me, I feel like though they did a very good job or a bad job, I don't know, depending from how you're looking at it. I always feel like it I could have most probably done well with a little bit of a somebody who is out there who I'd always or have always been looking up to, somebody like if you're an artist, it would be nice to be mentored by Vuyo Brown. If you're a radio journalist or you're a journalist, it would be nice to be mentored by somebody else who is big within the media space. So most of the times, I think with us as radio journalists, whatever, or with journalists, what happens is people almost just take care of themselves. They look at what they're doing and how best they're doing it. They really don't care. Okay, so how's Joe Mouse doing with his YouTube videos, or how's he doing with his radio? It's like they don't care. They're like, I want to get my paper. Whatever else other people are doing, I don't care. So
Don't
you
care.
you are I am particularly envious of the young artists that you're mentoring, because with
Oh,
with an award-winning artist by their side, the future is bright. Definitely, the future is
no.
bright. Mm. So, thank you very much for chilling with me. Thank you very much for chilling with me. I know
Thank
this
you.
is a long shot from the radio show that we were doing or we had the last time, but the most
Yeah.
important thing is we managed to pull through. It's almost an hour now. We managed to pull through this broadcast and talk about things that concern you and the things that I would have loved to get from you. And I think that's very, very important.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me
Mm.
back, to make that I was a decision. But thank you so much. May God bless you and enrich you and open your boundaries and enlarge your territory.
Hey, you just spoke like my little Msukuru from Bulawayo. That accent, I could tell. She's the one who was busy teaching me, or in Shamba, from
Oh
everything
no.
bad about.
Oh no. Oh,
it's
but
it's
thank
it's
you.
typical. If you're learning a new language, they have to teach you the raw stuff first. They have to teach you
Yeah,
this is don't
that's
say
very
this.
interesting. That is very interesting. And then what? Because that's you need that to survive. Like, what even is the reason behind that?
You just need that. You just need that to know that people are not saying that about you. You know.
Oh, got you. Okay, I
Exactly.
get that.
And when you are angry and one is also throwing big words or inhlamba at you, you also
Okay,
have to retaliate with the same stuff
okay.
so that they understand that, look, even if you call me blah, 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 I can also call
Uh-huh.
you blah. And it levels up the playing field. But anyway, we're not advocating for violence here. Not at all.
I get that. I understand. I understand.
Okay, so we're gonna end off this broadcast with the performance that you did at This was at Intwasa Arts Festival 2019. There was a
All right.
point, sorry to take this back, there was a part where we got cut off by the network where you were talking about your awards.
All right.
Yeah, we couldn't get you clearly there. You won an award with Tula Wazine.
Um, sort of. I won an award for the work I did throughout the year.
Okay.
Um, that's the outstanding female artist one. So it
Hmm.
was for
Hmm.
everything.
Oh,
But
wow.
like I said, Tulawazi just took me everywhere. So
Everywhere.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Well, let's see your performance here before you go. I'm just gonna play this and let's get to find out how were you feeling on such a day like this. Were you nervous? I know the last time we spoke, you were a bit of a nervous wreck before you went for that for that show in Harare. How are you feeling here at Intwasa? Hope this thing
I was,
just doesn't
I was
fail at me right now. Yeah.
okay. I was calm. I remember that was the first time I was doing Tulawazi to for everybody. I
Mm-hmm.
was I'm really calm before a show.
Mm-hmm.
Because I avoid spaces. So I sit alone and I
Mm-hmm.
don't absorb any energies from people. So usually
Mm.
before that,
Yeah.
but we're having a problem because my guitarist was nowhere to be found. So there's a bit of stress as
What?
well. I couldn't find
What?
him.
What?
So I
And
always do the a cappella thing right there. I remember that.
isn't it? So your guitarist was not there on this set.
His phone was off. I mean, one day we're gonna talk
Um,
about this. I'll bring him on one day.
eh,
I'll introduce you to him. He'll tell you the story. He switches his phone off. Everybody's looking for him. He just shows up when I'm about to go on stage.
oh yes, yes, yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, he was really stressing you, but all the same, thank you very much, Fuyo. Have a lovely. What is it? It's Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday.
Yes.
Yes,
That
it's
is.
Tuesday. Yeah. Have a lovely Tuesday and all the best with your music, eh?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks a lot. Okay, bye. So here's Vuyo Brown with Tulawazi right at the Intwasa Arts Festival 2019. All right, so that was Vuyo Brown, and that is a song simply titled Tula Wazi. That's the acoustic live there at Intwasa Arts Festival 2019. And if you're just getting into this broadcast and watching this live, well, listen, wati nono Kimbi chana, because we had a wonderful interview with the young lady, Vuyo Brown, and award-winning gospel artist all the way from Bulawayo, Vuyo Brown. My name is Joe Miles. Listen, do subscribe, follow, like, and share this right here platform and this right here interview as many times as you can. Make sure you catch us. Make sure you are always with us when we've got more content coming out of Zimbabwe and out of the wonderful, wonderful artists, wonderful individuals, wonderful society from Zimbabwe. Signing out, and of course, do is make sure you stick right here on the Joe Mars or Joe Mars official page. Thank you very much for watching, and until we meet again, bye.